Welcome to the Queen City of Alabama's Black Belt, Selma, Alabama, home of the Selma, Alabama chapter of the Links Incorporated. We are a small chapter with a history and strength as powerful as the city from which we hail. We are so glad you could join us as we celebrate 25 years of striving to do some good each year for those who need our aid. Truly, it binds us close and brings us joy. And we have been more than repaid. The Selma, Alabama chapter was established under the national leadership of Attorney Patricia Russell McLeod, President, and Dr. Joanne Brown Nash, Vice President, April 29, 1995. Our organizer and first president was Mrs. L. Dale Bryant. We are truly indebted and forever grateful to these dynamic women for their foresight and for allowing us to be a part of this unbreakable chain. Now, we invite you to sit back, relax, and listen to our sisters as they celebrate and reminisce on Cheers to 25 years.
Hello, my sisters of Selma, Alabama. How are you today? Please know I miss you. My sisters, I am once again saddened to be making a video instead of celebrating our wonderful friendships and celebrations together. I do, however, find strength in knowing that this too is just a temporary situation. In addition, I applaud you for every planning meeting, Zoom session, phone call, text, and email that you make to keep what we hold special.
I'm just going to go back for a second and bring up a comment as it relates to how we really got started. And we really got started because I had two people with me waiting on the other members to come for our Ebony Fashion Committee meeting. And while we were waiting, we decided to just talk about the Links Incorporated and how we could fit that into our community, into our lives, into doing things to help Selma, to help the young people, to help the elderly, and of course also to help the community as a whole. We ended up meeting at Ebenezer for our first meeting because Halle Perry was a member of this church, and we asked Dr. Reese if we could meet here for a while, and he allowed us to do that. And of course it was a great place. But in addition to that, the 21 women in our organization, believe it or not, they were just a list of names that I wrote down of ladies from the community, ladies who were doers, ladies who were concerned about children, believe it or not, the name Pacesetters came from one of our very quiet members, and that was Link Charter member Evelyn Thomas. She was just brainstorming along with others, and when she said Pacesetters, they said, that's it. And so Pacesetters Yeah, pace setters, trendsetters, movers, shakers, doers. That's what would encompass pace setters, but not haughty or anything like that. We want it to be friendly and doers in the community. And also, the members didn't even ask for another name. We accepted pace setters. And when we were chartered and we became Selma chapter of Links Incorporated, the community was like, who are you talking about? Oh, those pace setters. Oh yes, the pace setters.
The early 1900s was prime for community impact. It was a difficult time for the United States, with the country plagued by a sluggish economy, violent crimes, poverty. Was facing the Selma chapter as Miss Gloria Smith took over as president in 1998. The chapter realized that in order to impact the community with continued service that had started under President Bryant, and implemented programs that could address educational access, unemployment, voter registration, survival of Black colleges, health and wellness, with an emphasis on the youth and elderly.
Good evening. My name is Frank Hardy. I'm from Selma, Alabama, where I spent 20 years in Selma as Executive Director of the Selma Youth Development Center. We had a wonderful time at the Selma Youth Development Center, creating a family, because that's the way we treated the kids, like an extension of our family. Success stories, there's no way I can really count the amount of success stories we've had, because a lot of those kids are still out there creating their own programs that is modeled after the Selma Youth Development Center. So the success is still carrying on in other communities. But out of all the things we was able to succeed at, none of these things would have been possible without help from people who gave unselfishly and organizations that gave unselfishly, like the Links organization of Selma, Alabama. They came. There was times when we did not even know where we was going to get funding from, especially during those early years. But the Links organization saw what was taking place there, and they came and they gave financially, they volunteered, they had service days at the Selma Youth Development Center where they came and actually worked on the premises, working with the kids and improving the facilities. So bottom line is, they should be a model for other organizations when it comes to embracing your community, and not because of who the kids are, but because they are children and who they can be, and the possibility of what they can, how they can contribute to tomorrow, to tomorrow. Because the only way these kids learn compassion, the only way these kids learn value is when they are shown compassion, when they are shown value. And the Links organization of Selma did that. I will always be eternally grateful to the Links. And once again, I want to say thank you, and may you continue to have an impact in the community.
Wow, Isha, here we are back at the Selma Youth Development Center.
Memories.
After so many years, but the doors are locked. Chains are on the doors.
You know, Cicely, I can never remember a time growing up where these doors were not accessible to us or anyone else in the community for that matter.
Right, this was our second home. I remember when we would run home from school, grab our bags to get on the van, that Frank drove.
He did.
And we would come out here to practice and get ready for our performances.
African dance,
Lyrical dance,
jazz.
hip hop,
I mean, you name it. Boxing.
boxing. Can't forget the MC Hammer.
That's right. That's right.
Hammer time.
But seriously, this Selma Youth Development Center was just a big impact on us as kids, even going into today's days.
Right. It helped build our leadership capacity.
It did.
It helped us to be able to express ourselves through dance. Be confident in who we are.
Exactly.
Today, Black Girl Magic.
Additional funding was needed. President Smith initiated the idea of the corporate table sponsorship at the annual Martin Luther King Jr. Unity Breakfast. The revenue from the corporate table sponsorships has provided needed funds for the chapter to award scholarships.
Boxing club, not just the girls, had the girls dancing, but Barbara Fears worked along with him because she was so involved in the arts as well. And between the two of them, the rest of us did whatever we were told to do, but between the two of them, they had a fantastic group. And Barbara also worked along with Spike Lee's aunt, Consuela Moorhead. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. She brought her to Selma to talk to the young people about different things as it relates to the arts. And we saw this as an opportunity to continue to expose our young people, expose them to more than just basketball, football, whatever, and there's nothing wrong with the ball, but we wanted them to be well-rounded.
In addition to the collaboration with organizations whose goal is to improve the quality of life for the citizens in this area, such as Selma and Dallas County School Systems and Selma Youth Development Center. The corporate table sponsorship has grown from single digits in the early years to over 30 corporate sponsorships that provide over $10,000 in funding annually.
People invested in us.
Right, and you have to invest in your youth, you have to invest in your community, even the countless volunteers that we had.
Right, and we want to thank all of those who volunteered and invested in us when we were youth to impact who we are today. Starting with the director, Frank Hardy. Shout out to you, Frank. And of course, the beautiful lady of Selma chapter of the Links Incorporated.
Absolutely.
They volunteered their time.
Right.
Frank, they invested funds into the center, resource. I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel.
And we want to thank you for pouring into us as youth and making us feel like we were an asset to the community.
Happy 25th.
2002 was when I was elected, and of course that was coming into new millennium. And we had hurricanes, we had people feeling like we weren't necessarily attending to the needs of the community. And so as I came into the presidency, part of my goal was to make sure that we would serve the community. We would serve the elderly, we would serve young people, and we would try to enrich young people in the community, especially through the arts. And so as we worked through trying to come up with ideas about what that looked like, throughout the whole 4 years, we had different challenges along those lines. So some of the things that I was really proud about was that we took up monies for Hurricane Katrina. And as you know, that was a devastating hurricane. and it actually displaced people who actually did come to Selma. So the Links Incorporated, the Selma chapter, really proud. We organized a groundswell to hit the streets literally, physically, and ask for donations in a little town like Selma, Alabama. The Selma, Alabama chapter of the Links Incorporated hosted a Nutcracker extravaganza in Selma, Alabama at the Pickard Auditorium. And we involved the entire community of Chat Academy, Clark School, and Edgewood. And these are some of the dresses that we literally made ourselves. And MJ Moore was the choreographer that we hired to help us with this. Barbara Fears was my chairman for the arts, and Charlotte Griffith was the co-chair along with Dorothy Brown.
Successful presentation. We had costumes were made by some of the parents who volunteered to help us, and it was a beautiful occasion. Was well attended. Everybody was very cooperative in this performance. It was a pleasure for me because I am a thespian. And I am a national thespian. I belong to the National Thespian Society. And of course, I was in a presentation at R.B. Hudson High years ago, and I was in The King and I.
We had a 9 o'clock showing and a 12 o'clock showing so that we could include and have every elementary school child to be a part of this. And so we brought in 2,000 students. So that is just about every student in the Selma City school system had the opportunity to come. And then we packed the house. Almost 500 people that night at 7. My fondest memories of my tenure, those 4 years, was that we worked together in order for us to accomplish all of these feats during this time. And one activity that we worked on was a monthly feeding program. We partnered with Helping Hand Ministries, and we literally gave seniors food, bags of food every month. And see, at that time, it wasn't that popular because you're talking about 18 years ago, okay? Because I was almost a baby as president. I'd only been a Link for 4 years when I became president. So we did this monthly, and it was such a big success and hit in this community that we as a chapter really did come together during that time around service. That was the mission that we truly did feel, and we took up the mantle to do a lot. When I tell you, it was not the tradition for us to be on the street with buckets raising money. It was not us to normally be sewing for children to make dresses because they had to do it. We had to do it. We didn't have money to do it, so we had to do it. It was our love and our concern for the community that really brought us together, and we were able to donate really almost everything we brought in. We donated it back.
I want to take this opportunity to commend the Links of Selma the great work they've done in the past and what they've done in the future, what they've done presently. They've done great work. 10 years ago, I had the opportunity to work with them as they did work with the Katrina victims. They did great philanthropic work in the community, making contributions. They did a lot of work with Helping Hands Ministries and serving the elderly. And so now we have another opportunity to be with you in your 25th anniversary. And I just want to congratulate you, say job well done to former President Wanda Maxwell, and to the current president, we say God bless you and to God be the glory.
My greatest memory was that of the retreat that I did. That was at the initial part of my administration, and Link Pearlie Wright chaired it, and it was a day in Vegas. And so everything that happened stayed in Vegas. It was wonderful. I have lovely pictures and memories from that event. During the time of 2006 to 2010, I think we were trying to get a handle on our teenagers, our youth. And as a result of that, we held teen summits and at Wallace Community College. We bused those children in from all of the schools, Selma City, Dallas County, Southside, and we had wonderful programs, breakout programs that made a difference.
Congratulations to the Selma chapter of the Links Incorporated for celebrating 25 years of service. As a native of Selma, Alabama, I know firsthand how important the Links is to our community. There were so many important women who helped shape my life, like my pediatrician, Dr. Patricia Robinson, my neighbor, Ms. Dorothy Barnes, Mrs. Nancy G. Sewell, Mrs. Ludell Bryant, who was my guidance counselor, Mrs. Wanda Maxwell, as well as Mrs. Earlene Larkin. There were so many important programming activities that the Links sponsored that helped shape my life in my formative years, such as the Walkathon, which promoted healthy lifestyles. And I was in the Nutcracker as a child, serving as an extra in that play, which helped expose me to the arts. But my most important and favorite memory as a child was the Teen Summit. All of the youth in the area, in high school, all the high schools in the area were able to come together and talk about pressing issues such as building healthy relationships, financial literacy, and planning for college and life after high school. I'm so grateful for the impact that you all have had on our communities and on my life. And it has helped me professionally as I've been able to serve and return to my community and work for a member of Congress, Congresswoman Terry Sewell, who is also an AeroLink, as well as be able to serve my community. But one of the most important lessons that the Links taught me is the importance of the obligation, our obligation to the public. As a result, I'm a member of the 100 Black Men, and we also put on a Teen Summit. So, to the Links Incorporated, I wish you so many more great years, and years of longevity, years of prosperity, and years of continued positive impact on our communities. I'm Robert Stewart, and I'm glad to support the Links Incorporated.
can recall embracing the service delivery model. As a matter of fact, Selma chapter embraced it before most chapters in the links. The reason why we embraced that because it allowed us to set goals and objectives, and then we can be accountable as we may deliver it to the community. And that was wonderful. It was accountability. We did that before it was fashionable, and now most chapters embrace the service delivery model. It was so impressionable until we won a grant and an award for it at the area level and at the national level. I think the greatest impact in the Selma community was that of My Body, My Future. And that was a program that impacted the youth of the city of Selma and the surrounding area. And that program was chaired by Dr. Patricia Robertson. She did a wonderful job. It made an impact on the kids. And it also won, I think it won an award. It did. It won a $3,000 grant award at the area level. And then at the national level, it was really highly recognized. It was a wonderful program.
Mission Possible, My Body, My Future, was the Selma chapter's response to the growing epidemic of childhood obesity, particularly in Alabama. In 2004, the nonprofit group Trust for America's Health named Alabama as the second fattest state in the nation with a childhood obesity rate of over 30%. As a practicing pediatrician in Selma since 1988, I can attest to that statistic and the health consequences of it. I was seeing children with hypertension, cardiovascular disease, high cholesterol requiring medical intervention, diabetes, gallbladder disease, and osteoarthritis. These were diseases and medical conditions that usually presented in a much older population. In fact, it has been stated that this generation of young people is the first generation that is not expected to outlive its parents. Something had to be done. The chapter collaborated with my office and we developed the curriculum of Mission Possible, My Body, My Future as a childhood obesity program to address this issue, focusing on increasing the participants' knowledge and awareness of nutrition and their physical activity that will lead to a healthier lifestyle and stem the tide of childhood obesity. Beginning in 2006, using the service delivery model with its specific goals, objectives, and measurable outcomes, the chapter presented the program to 103 children ranging in ages from 11 to 17 over a 2-year period. The first year was based on didactic sessions to increase their knowledge of nutrition and exercise and how lifestyle choices affect their health. The second year was focused on applying what they learned from the first year to their daily life. The health and wellness of the Black Belt has always been a focus of the Selma chapter over the last 25 years. We will continue to bring innovative health programs to this community.
I am Pinky H. Platt. I was inducted into the Selma chapter of the Links in June of 1998. I became the chapter's 5th president in May of 2010. We focused on promoting the welfare of children. The Selma chapter has always had a special affinity for fostering, enriching children. Thusly, my administration continued the services to youth facet and piloted the Kids Edition Project Lead. We were also invited to present our obesity prevention project at the National Assembly in Orlando, Florida. Continuing the legacy of the previous past presidents,
Yeah, I'm Frances Bunbury, and I learned about the Links some maybe 60 years plus ago from one of my friends whose mother was involved in the Links in Tuskegee, Alabama. Of course, our program moved from Sophia P. Kingston, and we went to Clark Elementary, and we also went to Payne. So we have encompassed quite a few of the children who were a lot more disadvantaged. Your lock key children who leave school and go home, and they're home alone. And then we did a lot. We did etiquette with them, and Links Dorothy Brown and Links Dorothy Gardner were in charge of that. I wish I had my books. I've looked for them. I hidden them from myself. I collaborated with Wallace Community College with their nurses. Miss Veronica Brown worked with us, and we had them to come over for testing, for taking their weight, body mass, and all of that. And we also had Mrs. Morris, who came and showed them how to do the Heimlich. We did that. So we reached out to the community and worked with them in collaboration with Project Lead.
We're standing right here in front of the Clark Elementary School, a place where I spent the first 10 years of my career as an educator. I taught here and I was a principal here. And I can remember fondly one afternoon after we dismissed the students, I was in the office doing paperwork, and Miss Frances Bunbury walked into my office. And she walked into my office with a big smile on her face and told me that the Links had decided to sponsor my school and an after-school program where they would come in and teach etiquette, as well as they would tutor some of my scholars. And as a fairly new principal, I was very, very open to that and very excited for that. But my excitement did nothing in comparison to the excitement that our students had. They came very consistently, and believe you me, if we ever forgot anything, any type of equipment that they needed, Ms. Bunbury and the Links would let me know. I tell you, they would let me know very quickly. So we made sure they had what they needed, and when I tell you, they were a part of the success that we experienced when I was principal here at Clark. When we were given the Alabama Reading and Mathematics test, I think it was in 2010, Clark was the second, we ranked the second highest in the district that year, and that was due to the help not only of the staff here, the teachers, the parents, but also the help of the Selma Links, because as I said, they came consistently. My babies were looking for them. They were asking for them. If we had to dismiss for bad weather one time, whether we're still gonna have the Link sisters to come. No, they can't come today. But they were a great integral part to our work here at the Clark Elementary School. And again, congratulations for 25 years of service to the Selma chapter of Links.
We received third place exhibit programming award, and just imagine, it was quite an honor to think about. Just think, we are Selma. We are small, and in the midst of all of the 200 plus chapters, it's Selma that's getting a third place award in all of Linkedom. So it was quite an honor. It was exciting to be able to walk up there and to receive that award. And in New Orleans, to get the award for chapter exhibits again, to get that to be honored. It really was an honor. When I look back at the New Orleans conference, it just makes me smile all over myself to remember Dale Bryant with in Irene's, and she had on St. John, of course, and she didn't want to get anything on it, and so she had put her napkin up here, and we just kept saying Dale. And Terrence Platt, I think we had left an event and we were already dressed really nicely. And I think he had on, I don't know if it was the gala that we had attended, but anyway, we were dressed very nicely. We were representing our brand. So when we walked in there, and Terrence is a big guy, so it was like he was our bodyguard. And I guess that's what folk thought. Here comes a big, some celebrities, and this guy is escorting them and guarding them. So the people just parted, and we were just able to walk right on in, and we got a table, and we just had a grand time. I still got my hurricane glass from Pat O'Brien's in my cabinet now.
Link Gloria Smith, Link Ruby Martin, bless her soul, Link Wilson. They are both deceased now, but they worked really hard. And Link Joan Roussel, who is still moving and doing as much as she can.
Continuing the legacy of the previous presidents, we moved forward with strengthening the bond of friendship and sisterhood. Enjoyed the bonding of friendship and sisters, and it was just a great time.
And we made lasting friendships with some of the children that I recall. I know, for example, one young lady, she would never smile, and Link Joan and I will always go to her and say, "Smile, you have such a pretty face." And she grew up and she graduated from high school this past year, and every time we would see her, she's always been a wonderful young lady, Miss Boyd. So I think links in the community are so missed, are not being able to be out there doing those things. But because of COVID, we have to do what we have to do.
for implementing many stellar programs in the chapter. As we remained vigilant with our youth, we wanted to provide them with an awareness and exposure to careers in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. The chapter could not overlook the disparity of African Americans in STEM-related careers, especially among youth in rural communities such as ours. Our vision was to become the perennial community partner for STEM education in the Black Belt. So the chapter partnered with Tuskegee University, Alabama State University, Wallace Community College Selma, and the University of Alabama to create a program that captured the attention of students and parents. With the support of local and state educators, the STEM Career Academy was developed with an after-school format for high school students. The program began with 25 students who connected with STEM professionals, participated in hands-on activities, attended college field trips, and ACT prep Saturday sessions. And yes, even the parents became so excited about the program, they wanted to attend some of the sessions. In 2015, our chapter awarded its first STEM scholarship. We are so proud that the efforts of the Selma chapter has been recognized by the area and national levels of the Links Incorporated.
The Selma chapter of the Links Incorporated has been very instrumental in the development of youth across the Black Belt for the last 25 years. As recipient of the Josephine Scratman Stokes Scholarship, I can personally attest to the support the Links has provided me as an entering freshman at the University of Alabama. In 22 short days, I will be walking across the stage to earn my bachelor's degree in social work. I stand with countless scholarship recipients to congratulate and thank the Selma chapter of the Links Incorporated for 25 years of service to the youth.
Hi, I am Dorothy Craig Barnes, the 7th president of the Selma, Alabama chapter of the Links Incorporated. I wish to extend congratulations to the Selma, Alabama chapter on its 25th anniversary celebration. As I take this moment to reflect on this magnificent milestone and the chapter's achievements from 2018 through 2020. chapter received a National Trends and Services Award, $1,750, a monetary gift for second place from the 16th National President of the Links Incorporated, Dr. Glenda Newell Harris, at the 41st National Assembly in Indianapolis, Indiana. This award was given for providing valuable community service to the youth of Selma, Alabama and surrounding areas, and for the continuance of the STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics program. Selma Links started and chartered its first NASB, National Society of Black Engineers, Junior Chapter in December 2018. 9th through 12th grade students were encouraged to consider and pursue their interests in the STEM fields, and later attend college or technical schools to receive academic degrees in the STEM or related areas. In May 2020, Selma, Alabama chapter was named one of the top performing All-Stars chapters for 2019 through 2020. In March 2020, National Links President Dr. Kimberly Jeffers Leonard, other National Link officers, Southern Area Director Link Sylvia Perry, other Southern Area Links, and representatives from many other Link chapters joined us in historic Selma, Alabama, for the 55th anniversary of the Edmund Pettus Bridge Crossing Jubilee. This event in remembrance of the Selma, Alabama to Montgomery March and the passage of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Links and others proudly marched across the bridge in unity. The chapter held its 24th continuous citywide Links Walkathon in September 2019 and first ever as a partner with the organization Get Fit Selma at Wallace Community College. The walkathon focused on walking for health and wellness. In July 2019, the Selma chapter began its participation in the dynamic Southern Area Team 20 first ever All-Stars program. The Selma chapter members created, sponsored, or implemented many community service programs. One of the arts programs, The Lion King, as a part of the Artist North Signature Project. Some of the other programs included the Links in Pink, Breast Cancer Awareness, and the Heart Links program. The chapter's first Links MRT was introduced, celebrating the Links Incorporated Founders Day and promoting friendship, fellowship, and the various community service projects implemented by the Selma chapter members. 10 new members were also inducted in 2019, increasing the chapter's commitment to friendship and community service.
As we navigate challenging times, both nationally and locally, I'm reminded of the impact that the Selma, Alabama chapter has been able to provide to the community in which we are charged to serve. Over the past 25 years, our sister friends have embodied the twin pillars of friendship and service.
Hello, I'm Kashay Smith, a newly inductee to the Selma chapter of the Links Incorporated, and also the CEO of the Rural Health Medical Program. I've had the pleasure of not only just serving my community, but serving my community with such wonderful women of the Selma chapter of Links Incorporated. We have worked on numerous programs with one another. This year, I served as the committee chair for the virtual walkathon, where we prepared our community not only to be safe during COVID-19, but also to be healthy, to continue improving our lifestyle each day by getting out and walking, getting fresh air, eating healthy, and staying hydrated. It was truly a labor of love. And it was a big challenge this year because not everyone wanted to come out and walk in the community with all of the uncertainties, but we pulled it off and we were very successful. We had several Link sisters throughout the community working to engage with different community members. This year, the Walkathon Committee partnered with the National Trends and Services Committee to not only encourage our community members to get out and get active, but also a reminder to complete the U.S. Census survey, as well as voter registration, as we know that these are all things that create healthy communities. We were able to reach over 500 families throughout the Dallas County area. It was such a labor of love, and also we did not allow the COVID-19 pandemic to stop us from doing the service that we all love and that's near and dear to our hearts in our chapter. It was such a privilege and a labor of love to work with such wonderful and committed women. Here's to another 25 years of commitment to service and sisterhood.
We must keep this mission in the forefront as we move forward in the spirit of collective excellence, because sisters, our community needs us now more than ever.